A gold standard means that a currency's value is represented by its holdings of gold. But in 1944, during World War II, hundreds of delegates from 44 Allied nations gathered in New Hampshire at Bretton Woods and came to an agreement on how to regulate the world's monetary system. Participating countries fixed their national currencies to the U.S. dollar, backed by gold, which was set at a rate of $35 an ounce. But in 1971, the United States abandoned the gold standard. This meant the dollar was now backed not by gold, but by the full faith and credit of the United States. In other words, the stable U.S. economy. But today, the world's reserve currency is backed by a country carrying more than $14 trillion of debt. John Mueller is with the Ethics and Public Policy Center in Washington. He says the current debt crisis in the U.S. and European Union would not be possible under a gold standard.
The monetary system is what's producing these periodic commodity-led inflations, which trigger recessions, exactly like the 2007 to 2009 experience. It's causing the one-way decline in U.S. manufacturing competitiveness because it builds in not just federal budget deficits, but international payments deficits. And the third, as I mentioned, is it builds in lack of budget discipline.
The World Gold Council says there's about 165,000 tons of gold in the world, roughly. Well, how much is that? If this building were a piece of solid gold, it would be about that much. The United States owns the most gold, about $370 billion worth, valued at $1,500 an ounce. But some in America have suggested that the U.S. should sell gold to pay off debt.
In fact, it would make a lot of sense. Okay. Well, yeah, because most of the U.S. gold was acquired at $35 an ounce. You know, the price of gold is close to $1,500 now. The U.S. makes a tidy profit.
Stephen Dunaway with the Council on Foreign Relations said there is a downside to that idea.
So if you try to sell the gold very quickly, you'll substantially depress the price of gold because the U.S. holdings of gold is one of the largest in the world. And relative to the normal supply that goes into the gold market, you know, you would swamp it. And so the price of gold would drop dramatically.
Oh, no, I don't believe the United States should be selling gold to deal with its budget problems or its deficit problems. Rather, it needs to restore confidence in the dollar by bringing its deficit under control and starting to manage its economy more effectively.
University of Maryland's Peter Morisi. But deficit spending will not stop, according to John Mueller, until governments have a monetary standard that would prevent countries from spending more than they have.
I can tell you absolutely, politicians will not get their act together until we restore a monetary system that makes it impossible to continue in this manner.
The price of gold might be high, but University of Maryland's Peter Morisi says some countries' central banks have been buying gold again to diversify their reserves. The Mexican Central Bank recently added 100 tons of gold,
which indicates they're no longer content to back their currencies with dollars. It is backed by some gold in Fort Knox, but I think increasingly we're going to see investors buying gold through exchange-traded funds as an insurance policy. And in turn, we'll start to see gold used as a payment mechanism again. At that point, gold supplements the dollar as the reserve currency.
Analysts say selling gold could be seen as a sign of weakness by other countries and maybe send a message to the world that a country is desperate for revenue. For the United States, gold is one reason investors believe in the value of the dollar, and experts say an American sell-off of gold could send shockwaves through the international financial community. I'm Philip Alexiou, VOA News.